You see what this says? It says, having a smoothie.
You're gay.
We knew that.
And speaking of gay, please follow, like, and share Behind the Bar, and tell all your friends. You've been mildly supportive. We're
Moderately. I wouldn't even say mildly.
moderate.
What's less than mildly?
Nothing. We're back behind the bar. And we have one of my favorite people in the city. Actually, this is going to be your introduction.
You say that to all of your guests.
Fuck
I'm
off.
Sure.
No, I don't.
She does.
I don't fucking do
I
that.
believe it.
Something.
All right, Lara
I've met
Gray,
you before.
who's one of my very good friends / beer creator with her husband, Casual Animal Brewery. We'll be drinking and testing all of those today. But mainly, she's just a good person. Yes. And honestly, if we weren't moms, I think we would maybe even be best friends. But we met each other at weird times in each other's lives, and we kind of love each other, and we talk a lot about very unimportant shit and then very important shit. And then when we have a glass of wine, she really dives deep on the important shit. So we're bringing her here to drink.
Yay!
Lara Gray, Casual Animal Brewery,
Casual Animal
and
Company.
a secret surprise thing that we're going to discuss today.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks for
thanks
having
for being
me.
here.
Yeah.
Thank you for making the important shit matter to you.
Yeah.
Let's try the hazy IPA first.
Yes, this is King Curious. So it's like we rotate things a lot, but this tends to be on the board more often than not because it's very popular. So
I
King
love
Curious.
a hazy IPA.
I love a hazy IPA.
I would
Very
say
juicy.
but
if somebody said that's
specifically
the thing.
after skiing.
I knew you
Oh
were gonna say
yeah.
that.
Yeah, like in a hot tub.
I knew
You
were
have
gonna
like
say
very
that.
distinct memories with that. Like you're tying
Very.
beer with like
100%.
Yeah.
Because I'm not
life
I'm not a
experience.
casual beer drinker. I am like gonna drink a beer on a special.
She's also
occasion.
not a casual skier.
I'm a very competitive skier.
So nothing
you
about
know
a
when I
hazy
say
I
Brilliant.
shred the gnar for like 8 hours, then I want to
Nothing
be
about a
naked in
hazy
a hot
IPA is
tub
casual.
with a hazy IPA.
Cheers.
So it hits
Cheers.
different
Thank
after
you for
this.
being
It's
here.
different. You're a little dehydrated in that high alcohol volume content. Hit ya.
So Lara and I were having a drink at the French Market, I don't know,
this feels
6
like-
months ago.
Ski season.
And she starts discussing to me KC360. And immediately I got very intrigued, invested, and then immediately I did nothing. And hence why Lara is a much better person than I am in general and in life. She got very involved with it. So we're here today to talk about it. So let's hear it. Give us the whole lowdown. While we drink, oh, and by the way, fuck you, Kyle. This is awesome.
good.
Kyle's her husband.
Good job, Kyle.
Go to Casual Animal Brewery, drink a hazy
I'm gonna
IPA.
need a 6-pack of this in the fridge all
She already
season.
brought you one. Thanks, Laura. Carry on.
Yeah, you know, there's never enough time to discuss a topic this big, but in a nutshell, well, I guess I'll rewind just a little bit in terms of like why I got involved and how I found KC360. So we, obviously Casual Animal is in the Crossroads, close to downtown, you know, and over the series of the last couple years specifically, I think we've all noticed a marked increase in crime. And for whatever reason, we have a very tight business community in the Crossroads. And I kept getting calls and text messages from people that were wondering, you know, what are we doing about this? You know, who do we need to talk to? I did not have the answers at the time, certainly.
Why are you talking to me about
Right.
it? Because everybody feels so comfortable with you.
Well, I think it's because they know that I would do something about it, which is fine, except when you're also a small business owner and you're trying to find the time to do all of these extra things. But I did, and I started meeting with all these different people. I met with Jackson County Prosecutor Melissa Johnson. I met with Classy Alcine, who's the CEO of KC Common Good, and as well as a number of people from KCPD, City Council. And this kind of common thread kept coming up about attending KC360, which I knew nothing about. But it is basically under the umbrella of KC Common Good. And the goal is essentially a very collaborative approach to addressing violent crime in the city. And I think for me, that was the wake-up call, because when you talk about something like gun violence, it's such a huge issue, right? And nobody wants that, and everybody wants to do something about it, but it's so large that you don't even know where to start. Mm-hmm. And that's where I found myself, you know, at a bit of in limbo, because I'm like, you know, how can we make a difference on something so big? And I think so often we think about gun control and all of these things, and even at like a national scale or a state level scale, it does seem insurmountable. But what's really great about KC 360 and KC Common Good is that they're addressing it in a very local approach. And when you can get more local voices and organizations behind that and working collaboratively, you know, you can start to feel like you're taking a little bit more of an ice pick and a chisel to things and making a difference. And I mean, let's be honest, this is not something that's going to be solved overnight, specifically anywhere, but most specifically in Kansas City. But I think where I found value is that when we get so often, I think also as a small business owner, any small business owner that you meet, they're doers, right? They have drive, they have ambition, they know how to get shit done. And so what's so fascinating about all of this is that there are people already doing a lot of the work behind the scenes and at the ground level that I had no idea about.
Yep.
And attending these
like
meetings,
pretty organized. It's very organized.
It is, yeah.
So because I don't know, you guys have kind of an inner knowledge.
Yeah.
What is KC 360?
And tell them also when they meet.
Yeah, so basically it's modeled after a similar approach in Omaha called Omaha 360. And basically a lot of community members and council folks went up to Omaha, met with the founder of that organization, and what they've done in Omaha is they've been able to reduce their violent crime by over 70% in the last 15 years, which is huge. And so in Omaha, you know, pretty similar size in comparison to Kansas City. And so they started talking more and more about how can we bring this model back down to Kansas City. And it's still pretty young, honestly, in terms of rolling this out, because we have very unique needs. We sit on a state line, you know, there's just systemic issues that Omaha wasn't facing that we have to address. You know, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. But the mechanics are there, and they're putting that into place. And so KC 360 is basically a movement, I would say, more than anything, where you have a 360 or full-scale approach. You're involving the youth, you're involving community police relations, you're involving the neighborhoods, community care chaplains, so, you know, like the church influence in neighborhoods. We want to involve the businesses, you know, in all of this, in essentially creating this full system that's working towards a common cause. Because when you really get down to it, it's so multifactorial, right? You can't just address one thing and expect it to be solved. You all have to come at it from different angles. And the truth is, everybody's got a different skill set that they're bringing to the table. And that's where I'm finding just in these relationships that I've been able to build by attending these meetings, and they occur weekly, and they're open to anybody. So it's every Thursday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., and they meet on the Rockhurst University campus, 5311 Tracy Avenue, just in the activity center there. And I will tell you, I'm not a religious person myself, but this has become my church in terms of that I do, when I can, I attend pretty much every week. It will have to be something else that pulls me away from it. And my husband knows now at this point, he's like, you going to the meeting this morning? I said, yes. He's on drop-off duty, so I can go and attend and absorb the information and try and process.
And they give you guys a lot of action items, or like talk to us about like what a meeting, what is a typical meeting for KC 360?
Yeah.
Because I am curious. Like,
Okay, so it's a grassroots organization that uses a collaborative approach and kind of a multi-layered approach of including like traditional frameworks like police and non-traditional frameworks like pastors to lower violent crime in a city.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, to take where
And
we
when
were.
you say violent crime, do you mean like sexual abuse? Do you mean gun violence? Do you mean domestic violence?
Primarily gun violence,
Okay.
yeah, like homicides, you know, that are impacting, and then a lot of it is based on poor conflict resolution, right? A lot of folks their first response to, you know, conflicts as they arise is to, you know, pull a gun instead of talking through it, because a lot of folks don't have the resources or the know-how of how to address that situation differently. And so many people that are in these affected neighborhoods are just purely in survival mode. I mean, I will say, to be honest, I'm not an expert in this area, but I've learned so much, my own education about Kansas City, about these issues that are so subversive in a lot of ways, or it's very easy. I can understand both sides, how it's easy for some of us to kind of look past it or want to just say, I'm sure KCPD will do something about that. I'm sure the city will do something about that. But then also on the other side, understanding limitations of both the city and KCPD, and now it is the time for the community to step up and play a part, because nothing will be solved if we just wait for somebody else to intervene.
It's a real community-driven aspect to literally trying to reshape violent crime in Kansas City.
Well, as another small business owner in Waldo, we have been.
I'm gonna crack another beer. Go on.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
Do I
continue to
have to-
talk
do I
while
chug
I
this one?
try chug. Okay, you get to pick
Waldo
the
has
next
been
one.
dramatically impacted by violent crime. Lots of theft, armed robbery, lots of violence and homicide.
I mean, violent crime in Kansas City is costing over $2 billion a year.
Just so from an economic standpoint, it's bad for Kansas City.
It's bad for Kansas City. I mean, think about we're in the Crossroads. We talk with many businesses in the downtown corridor, Midtown,
Oktoberfest.
Brookside, Waldo. But for us specifically in that kind of downtown Crossroads area, I understand why people want to talk about crime being an issue, but it's certainly not helping the small business entities that operate there.
You can probably relate to that, can't you?
I just had a conversation today with someone who said, I feel like gun violence is so bad in the city that I can't go anywhere and be safe, so I don't anymore. I stay home a lot more now.
Sure.
And as small business owners, especially someone like Casual Animal, that impacts your business. I mean, obviously it impacts City Gym as well, but I think even more in like the hospitality industry, where you're going down to like a district where people are walking from bar to bar or restaurant to bar or
Well, that's
whatever.
just from a. I'm not going to go here today, but like the messages are getting more and more in our faces all day long. The fear, there's a lot of fear, and it's legit. Like it is legit fear. Like sometimes I was thinking about this. Like we do behind the bar. I think in my 43 years of life, I've never thought to myself, somebody might just want to shoot me because we do behind the bar. And now we're in a time where it's just like somebody might want to shoot us because we do behind the bar, and that is the reality of the situation. Like you use your voice, you're a target. It doesn't matter what side you're on, you're a target, right? So like I love this approach of getting inside of the community and like giving the action items, like giving actionable items, and like meeting to organize and discuss like how do you change all this? And I think you are like,
how long has Casual
knee
Animal
deep
been
in this.
open in the Crossroads?
In February will be 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
You've seen the Crossroads change a lot in 8 years.
Yeah.
I have been in Waldo for 14 years. I have watched Waldo transform in 14 years. I mean, when I started, it was almost like
you were almost straight.
I was not ever almost straight.
Well, 14 years ago, you thought about it.
14 years ago, I was twice as gay as I am now.
Just a little straight. Go on.
When I moved into Waldo, there were not a lot of retail places. There was Waldo Pizza, there was The Well, but it was mostly bars.
Yeah.
Some bar restaurants, but not just, I don't know, like health and like there were no health places there. There definitely wasn't a gym. So by opening this gym there, what I saw was that it began to change the face of Warnell right there. So coffee shops started to open, and like healthy eating places started to open, and then people who were just renters in the Waldo neighborhood became owners. They started buying homes, and then when they were owning their homes, Hale Cook Elementary reopened, and there's all of this stuff that can happen.
Well, you guys kind of did that with beer scene down there in the
Well, and that's what I'm
Crossroads.
saying.
Like,
You guys jumped
have-
on that bandwagon.
yeah, you
for
totally
sure.
did.
But you're right, because as soon as you build that community, inherently it should become safer, right? Because you have the infrastructure there.
Right.
I think for me, what I would tell people is crime in Kansas City a problem? Yes. But I will say that when you go to those entertainment corridor pockets, it is a lot safer than the media makes it out to be. And, you know, I think that's people's first impulse is, this is bad, I'm gonna tell the media about it. Well, the media are gonna tell a completely different story than the reality, and it ends up hurting a lot more people in the long run. And I think not only that, but I've reached the point through my experiences that I'm really tired of people just complaining about the problem. I'm ready to move forward with,
in all things, politics,
let's do more.
crime.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Don't just tell me, oh, I feel so overwhelmed and I'm in total emotional collapse.
You guys should be really sitting close to each other right now.
I need you to drink an Oktoberfest, pull up your big girl panties, get out from behind your screen, and find something that you can do. So I love that. So the reason I shared the transitional history of Waldo was because it's an example to me of how when people get invested in a neighborhood, how things change systemically. And that's what you're talking about with KC360, is how, yes, we have to systems have to change, but sometimes we have to change the systems, right? So the people have to change the systems instead of the other way around.
Right. I think where we get distracted in Kansas City is somewhat with the districting that we have in the city. So, because when you look at the hotspots of crime, where the majority of violent crime is happening in Kansas City, it's along a specific corridor of neighborhoods. And that's what KC360 is going in to change the infrastructure. That is the overarching goal. They are focusing on this neighborhood initiative to go into those pockets, literally knocking on doors, to go door to door talking to neighbors about, what are your needs? What can we do to help you,
got goosebumps.
make this area safer? And sometimes it's like, well, this streetlight's been out for a year, and that's where a lot of the situations are happening. So they help everybody navigate 311. They get the city out, replacing the streetlight. You know, it seems so simple, but for those folks, it's about building trust. And that's the other approach that I find so novel about KC360 is that they are building this community approach from the inside out almost, right? Because it is about trust. It's about relationships. And for so long, relationships and trust between these communities and KCPD, and I would even say with the city as well, have been disjointed, and the trust hasn't been there. And the follow through has not been there.
The city entities, there's infighting there.
Oh, I mean, absolutely.
You know,
absolutely. But when you go to these meetings, guess who's in the room? KCPD every week is in the room, and this is why I call it my church. Is because every week I've never been anywhere to a consistent meeting like this where they consistently gather 75 people or more on a weekly basis to come, to listen, to learn, to collaborate on this common issue. There are people trying to do this and really make this a reality for Kansas City, but you know, the buck doesn't stop there. Like, there's more work to do. That room should be filled with 3 times the amount of people every week. You know, and then just kind of separating that messaging out from there. But consistently, you know, KCPD shows up, city officials show up when they can, for the most part. There is strong support there, and then you have these wonderful community-based organizations or CBOs that come in that are doing the really hard work, because they are the ones speaking with these individuals.
Who are some of the community-based organizations that you're just like, your mind is blown at the work that they do?
Oh my gosh, there's so many.
That's a good question.
I would start with a lot of the folks that are working with the youth in Kansas City. There is an organization called Posse, and the founder, CEO, he's been doing this for over 25 years, almost 30 years. His name's Osco Bolton. He is in many public schools right now, and he goes in and just starts talking to kids. And his whole messaging is about showing kids that they have value and that somebody cares, because there's not always going to be somebody at home that cares about that individual.
So
right?
Does he have like a team? Does he have a team, or is it just him individually going in there?
He's been doing this for a really long time. more grassroots than I would say than KC360. He is building a team, but a lot of it are folks that have gone through the posse training with him, essentially, and now have kind of like grown up. And he
we need to
maintains
interview
these-
this guy.
He's maintained these relationships. He's
wanna
super
interview that
interesting.
guy.
Similarly, Kyle Hollins founded Lyrics Institute, and he works, I would say more specifically, also in the youth space, ages 13 to 25, but more specifically with some of the most violent youth in our community. And he is working really hard to try and show them a better path for them. His model is based on cognitive behavioral therapy and changing their mindset away from that kind of pivotal like survival mode, but how do you, so it's the conflict resolution we were talking about, right? So often, the initial reaction is pulling out a gun, and instead he said, okay, let's sit, let's reframe.
He's like giving them the tools to
change the mindset. Yes, absolutely. But also let them further
him to Congress, because I think
let's do that.
Those adults need this training as well.
Let's do that.
But you know what's so interesting is that when you ask them what they need, like all of these organizations, yes, they need money, right? Because they're nonprofits. And here's the thing that drives me crazy when I talk to them too, because they're doing this work that I will say, as much as I would love to get involved, I mean, I can look at myself in the mirror. I'm a white lady. And so these kids are not going to want to talk to me, trust me. That's not my road, but my road can be to help get them the resources to do this work at a greater efficiency, greater efficacy and impact, and to grow their impact, because that's all they want to do. They are spending beyond their means at this point.
I think you're spot on, and go ahead. We have to get into speed ground, but go ahead and use your fingers.
But I want to say, I feel like things that you've called to the forefront is that in order for change to happen, you have to get personally involved, and there are ways to do that. But also you need to really acknowledge that for many years, folks have been doing community work, so it's really important as white folks that we don't go into communities of color and try to be the fixer, right? We're there
or
to
start something new.
Resources.
Start something new.
No.
There are people already doing that work, and you can support them in 1,000 different ways, and they are always going to be more effective.
So here's what we're going to do.
Absolutely.
We're going to get from Laura a list of some of these CBOs.
We actually need to go to a meeting.
We're going to get a hyperlink so that people who watch this episode and who are like, yeah, I'm passionate about this, I want to find some local Kansas City organizations and I'm going to resource them.
Yeah.
Right?
And these are, if we leave your listeners with anything super tangible, I'm a big action item person.
Yeah. Give it to us.
But it's again, if you can give money, sure, but that's not all that they're asking for. Like for organizations like Posse and Lyrics Institute, they also want experiences for the kids. So if you are able to offer an internship or apprenticeship, even if it's just shadowing and allowing a group to come in and see what the world can offer them, that's a valuable resource.
I love that.
For them organically or organizationally, Kyle even said recently to me that he's looking for somebody to come in, take a deep dive into their books. How can he be more effective with his financing that he has going on right now as a nonprofit entity to be able to grow and leverage for grant opportunities, and grow organically in that way. And because at the end of the day, his value and his work is with the youth.
CEOs, COOs, CMOs, they can leverage their skill sets in these organizations by offering their expertise that way too.
Yeah, like accounting pro bonos, like somebody who just wants to volunteer. That's your step in the right direction for helping solve the gun violence problem in Kansas City.
Yeah.
So when everybody sits back and says, this is too big, I don't know how to even get started.
Find your role.
This is
Find
how you
your
get
role.
started. Start asking
Find your role.
questions and figuring out, what organization can I support with my skill sets. It doesn't have to be your financial dollars, just offer your time and your skills.
And I just love this conversation because it's not like you uncovered this organization and brought it to me, and I think about it often, and then I watch you continue to deep dive into it. It's nice, like instead of sitting around bitching, which is what we all do all the time, instead of sitting around bitching, here's another example of something that you could be doing. And also we've got a speed round her.
The
and
feeling
also I'm
to
going to chug
disempowerment,
the strawberry
the
wheat.
feeling to hopelessness is action.
Feeling
Absolutely.
to hopelessness is action.
Yeah.
Who quoted that? Is that your quote?
I
Do you want to quote it?
probably
It's Hailee.
stole it from someone.
It's Hailee's quote. Strawberry wheat. My favorite so far is still the hazy IPA.
The
Personally,
hazy was.
The hazy. Well, you were skiing in your mind, and I
was.
was. What was I doing in my mind when I was drinking the hazy IPA? Not skiing.
I don't know.
I think I was on somebody's porch.
Yeah, there you go.
It was
By
the
the
fall.
pool. Yeah.
Cheers.
Okay, this is
strawberry
speed
wheat.
round. You ready?
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Go with your gut.
You know speed round? Have you ever watched our show? You can say no. That's all right.
She said every episode when she
There.
got here.
Yeah. Oh,
Every
sweet,
one.
yeah.
Her favorite one is the one with my mom.
That's a good one. All right.
Everyone says. That's what I made.
I do fucking love her though, by the way. It's weirder to speed around people that you really
You
care
want me to do
about.
it? I'll do it. Here we go.
Well, what if I want
I
to
really
change?
care about
but
you
I
too.
often change things up. But go ahead.
Okay, we're gonna just start at the top. This is low hanging fruit. What is the best beer in Kansas City that's
Not
yours?
Casual Animal.
They don't make it on the regular anymore, but Black IPA by Stockyards.
I'm going. I never heard of it. Yes.
Who is your biggest musical crush?
Don't know why I wrote that down.
Because you are a sapiosexual and you want to know what's happening in her side of her brain regarding music. It's true.
Sia.
Sia!
Yes.
I love me some Sia.
Especially when she like goes crazy on the videos. And she's very sexy.
Okay, what is your favorite literary character of all time?
Sapiosexual.
I know, but she's like, how do I fall
Literary
further in love with
character?
Laura?
I don't know. God, that's so
Who's your
hard.
favorite book character ever? I just simplified my own
read
question.
Kids books these days.
Who's
It's
your
so
favorite
hard.
book?
Kids book
Hey,
character.
come on, man. There are 3 to 8 books you've given me in my kid book section where I still think
You
that's
want me to
one of the
list my,
greatest
my
books.
my greatest children's book?
What's your favorite all-time children's book? And don't say Pout Pout Fish.
To this day, ever since I was a kid, it's Miss Rumphius.
What?
It's called Miss Rumphius.
Never heard of it.
Rumphius.
Send that shit to me.
Okay.
Okay, if Kyle,
Mine's
who
the
is your
awesome book of
husband,
love, by the way.
makes you X, he's definitely getting some later.
Wait, I didn't miss
If
the
Kyle makes
Who
this
is
for
your
you,
husband?
makes this for you, he's getting some
He
later.
makes you X. What does he make you? And he's getting some.
He makes I don't know. Oh, he makes the bed.
If he makes the bed.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Kyle. I was thinking like
In bed.
a great old fashioned, you know,
Oh, we're very simple people.
some food. But if he makes the bed, he's getting
I'd be
some.
like every day being like military lines. Okay, what is your least favorite zodiac sign?
I don't know horoscopes at all.
Don't say Aquarius because that's where we both are. Okay,
horoscope.
what's the most annoying thing about parenthood?
The whining.
They whine.
Definitely the whining.
You're not talking about Kyle, you're talking about your kids.
My kids.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I
Horrible.
honestly, I could do anything related to parenting if it, if
I
it just
agree.
didn't
You want to
whine.
like punch
I
him
agree.
to the moon.
Right.
Literally, I agree.
Okay,
Ditto.
and we
It's like
asked,
whiny
echo
voice.
we asked,
Yeah.
we asked all of our.
Oh, who smells better between Hailee and I?
Let's not do that.
Yeah, come on.
She just took a shower.
Okay. Come on in.
She's gonna
You
say
sprayed on your neck in that spot.
she's gonna say you because she knows me and she can go below the belt here. Go ahead, give it to her.
It's okay.
I'm only gonna say Ashley because I smell hairspray.
Yeah, that's all.
Yes! Finally a fucking win on this show!
Okay, Laura,
Everybody thinks I'm 100 years
hold
older
on.
than
We
you.
have just a few seconds left.
Okay.
What percentage gay are you? Go fast.
I have no idea.
She's
Feels
sorry,
right.
bud. Okay, and if you were a drink, what would you be and why?
Sia is her gay 5%.
Yeah, probably.
I knew she wasn't gay when she said Sia was her
I
musical
know, but we asked
crush.
that question to everybody.
What do I use to drink? I'd be a shot of Jim Beam.
A shot of Jim Beam. Nobody's ever
And
said
on
a
that
shot.
note, folks, we're gonna wrap it with Laura from Casual Animal. Get involved, you
Why would you get a shot of Jim
motherfuckers!
Beam?
Why?
Why?
You want my why?
We ask everybody their why.
Because you have to be in a very comfortable or uncomfortable social situation when people start bringing shots of Jim Beam around. Burns just a little bit as it goes down, so you're going to remember it. But for me, I always remember the good times and not the bad times when I'm having shots of Jim Beam.
Fuck
Perfect.
yes.
The end.
Thank you for coming. I love you.
Hey y'all, if you'd like to try any of our brews that we were sampling today at Casual Animal Brewing, come see us at 1725 McGee Street in the Crossroads. And if you'd like to join or learn more about KC360, KC Common Good, and all of the great work that they're doing here in our community, I encourage you to attend one of the weekly meetings every Thursday, 9 a.m. on the Rockhurst University campus, 5311 Tracy Avenue. You can also find them online at kccommongood.org.
You see what this says? It says having a smoothie.
You're gay.
We knew that.
And speaking of gay, please follow, like, and share Behind the Bar, and tell all your friends. You've been mildly supportive. We're
Moderately. I wouldn't even say mildly.
moderately.
What's less than mildly?
Nothing. Actually, I used the right word.
It's my mom.
Like,
Ashley's
follow, share,
mom.
Behind the Bar, KC.
Ashley's mom's best friend.
Spotify,
who calls
YouTube,
me Hillary.
Instagram. This is Hillary. If you see her in public, her name's Hillary, and tell her, thank you for being on Behind the Bar, and she won't bite you.
I won't.